All right, now we are live. So I don't really expect too many people to actually tune in while we're live, but whatever. It's almost easier than Skype.
Yeah, it
So
definitely is.
okay, so I'll go ahead and get the Audacity running. Looks like levels are pretty good. Go ahead and just say a couple things for me.
Yo, yo, yo.
Perfect. Okay, we're looking pretty good. All right, I actually just got a bunch of new equipment because my setup before was pretty shoddy. I mean, it worked. It's just the sound quality wasn't the greatest. But so I got mixer, a shit ton of cables, decent microphone. So I actually did a hangout last night with Derek from RFI and
Oh yeah.
tested it all out. I recorded about a half hour's worth of audio, plugged in my head, uploaded it to the cloud, downloaded it on my phone, started listening to it. I'm just like, holy shit, this sounds incredible. This is so much better than that shit I was doing before.
Yeah, man, it's amazing what little bitty toys can do to make the sound quality just all that much better.
That's a first.
Shit.
I can't ever monitor the live chat when I'm doing this, so I have no idea what people are saying.
I got my phone out. I'll try to help keep an eye on it for you.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, we can go ahead and kick things off. So just get myself centered. It's been a little while since I've done this. Stretched out. Welcome, everyone, to the Spacemen with Guns podcast. If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm George, your sometimes host. My co-host Dave over in the UK is off this week. We got a absolute great show, like I say every time, but this one, actually, I mean it. It's totally legit. This is a great show. We are joined by a man of incredible talent and skill in the realm of painting and detailing models. A self-described asshole from Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome back to the show Mr. David Sampson from Black Label Painting.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on. I know we had some interesting discussions on Messenger over the last couple of weeks. I was like, you know what? I should get him on here. We kind of think alike. This could be interesting.
So you're a fellow asshole, I guess.
That's me before. So I wear that label willingly. So the point of this show, I should say, the main focus of this episode is going to be ways to super detail, or as I like to call it, stupid detail your models. It's those things that you find yourself doing because they look cool, but there's really no point other than it looks fucking badass. So, excuse me, we're going to go over a number of those later in the show. But we're going to kick things off because it's been a while since, it's probably been at least a month since a regular episode. So I'm going to do a hobby update. I'm going to try and get through this as quick as I can. So I wrote out some notes so I would remember shit. So I spent a lot of money around Christmas time and shortly after Christmas time buying stuff for my little plastic spacemen with guns. And I've been working on stuff. So of course I got my dick bikes. I finally started working on those again. I got a couple of things highlighted the other day. So they're coming along. We'll get those wrapped up pretty soon. Got my Damocles, which has been an interesting project, to say the least. Of course, it is a hybrid kit of plastic and resin. Painted up the interior real nice. Used some chipping fluids, some oil washes, and pigments. I got everything done, getting ready to assemble it. And then posted a picture on Instagram and of that front bulkhead that's got the control panel and the spare bolter stuck on it, and somebody made a comment and said, oh man, that looks really good. It's like the only regret I have when I did my rhinos was I didn't cut off that bolter and replace it with a Heresy era appropriate one. And I kind of was like, you know what, that would have been the right thing to do. And I start thinking about it over the course of the day. And eventually I'm just like, god damn it, Samson. So I had to cut off that bolter and replace it with a Phobos pattern bolter, which I actually come to find out there's apparently references in book 1 Betrayal of Space Marines during the Heresy using Godwin pattern bolters like you would see in 40K, so with the Mark 7 armor. So there was that. It's coming along really well. A lot of gaps to fill with plasticard and what you want to call it, green stuff. And that's something else we're going to get to later in the episode. Of course, the big one, the Fister of Dominion. The ASRAM now has a name. It is the Fister of Dominion, kind of a play on Gilliman's Hand of Dominion. This thing's fucking assembled. I fucking painted it. It's not done yet, but used some chipping fluid, did some streaking with the chipping fluid. So there's like bare metal showing through on the front like it should, because if this thing's pounded into other ships, it should, have some paint scratched off. Looks really cool. Just did heat blooming on a bunch of parts today, like on the engine exhausts, the rocket booster, and the giant Magnum Melta. Got some parts for the base that I'm going to do. I happened to get a new base from Secret Weapon, actually, and it's their, I think it's the 95 by 120 oval, and it's actually hollowed out, so I got a little bit more depth to it. So it's not just flat like the GW base. And of course, I got the brass rod ready for that, and I got to work out the battery box. And what I'm actually think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up this donor Bane blade that I got from somebody and kind of use that as some rubble. I got some 48 scale bricks from Juwela Scenics, which are actually like baked ceramic bricks that are tiny as fuck. Scatter those all around for some debris and everything. I'm going to weight the fuck out of this thing with probably like some number 7, number 8 lead shot, so it'll stand up. It's going to look pretty cool. I got some dead Marines coming from like the character series bases. That's going to look pretty cool. And of course, I got to fit battery and switch and everything there, but I'll get that figured out. It's going to be awesome. This project is totally going to be worth all the time and effort I've put into it. That is just somewhat stupid, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I feel you.
So,
yeah.
Oh, it's been a project, but it's been fun. It's been good, and I've really enjoyed it. And I think in the end, it's really going to pay off. Okay, so the next thing, everybody's heard about that whole hashtag New Year, New Army bullshit. Well, I can't do a whole new army, so I'm actually doing 2 allied detachments. First one is Mechanicum. I got.
Oh shit.
Yeah, well, I had the 40K Arch Magos or whatever. I don't really like the 30K model from Forge World, so I got the plastic one from somebody for like $5. Yeah, I have I managed to get 4 Thalax, one with the multi-melta, and then I got a fucking Domitar, which I'm fucking excited for because that model looks awesome, even though they suck in game.
Hey, they're good in the Zone Mortalis. They will wreck fucking face Zone Mortalis.
They probably will. I mean, they look so fucking good with those giant ass hammers and that freaking missile launcher on its back.
My first love, Mechanicum all the way.
It's gonna be. I even bought the Mechanicum book from Forge World. It's like I have 6 models and I went out and bought the book. It's like, fuck yeah.
Kind of have to, man. Kind of have to.
Yeah. I actually saw somebody posted on Facebook. This was a couple of months ago, and I saved the picture. They were doing a Domitar, made it look like it's running. So it's leaning forward. It's got one leg kind of swung back, and it's got its left arm like punching out into somebody. And it's got its right arm punching out. And it's got its left arm kind of coiled back, ready to punch. Looks so good. I'm going to try and replicate that shamelessly. And then the other they're
very posable.
Looks like they're ball joints everywhere. So you think they would be? That would make sense. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. The next one, I was actually cruising around on the Anvil Industries website, and they of course got a whole line of, I think it's like their regiments line of different sort of Imperial Guard or militia style figures, and they have this new dress uniform line, and they had this one character who's wearing like an old colonial Continental Army style uniform. It was similar to the Redcoats, where it's got the white belts diagonally across the chest. They had it painted blue. He's running around with an AR-15 in one hand and a fucking tomahawk in the other.
That's gangster.
Like, that looks good. So I ended up ordering myself a 5-man squad. It's like, well, I guess I'm doing militia now.
Oh no, you're doing militia too?
Yeah, because oh man, I got those guys look good. Because instead of painting blue, I'm actually doing them green, so they're gonna be like the Continental Marines.
Oh fuck yeah, that's awesome.
I
started down that path too.
Yeah. I'm working on the first model, who I call Space General Washington.
I seen that. That looked awesome.
It's
Now that makes sense. I was like, what the fuck is George doing? What is this? And now it makes sense.
it's Space General Washington, the Continental Marine Militia. Man, I got fucking crazy ass ideas of what to do with this militia army. I mean, I also got the Forge World Masterclass Volume 1 for Christmas. So,
nice.
I really want a fucking Macarius now. And so I'm gonna have to get one of those eventually. I'm gonna get a Thunderbolt because I love flyers, even though I've only got one and I haven't completed it yet. I'm gonna paint it up like a fucking P-47 from World War II.
Badass.
So it's gonna have like that neutral gray underside, gonna have that OD green top and some fucking crazy shit. It's gonna look awesome. Because actually I think it was Giancarlo. He did
Giancarlo.
Yeah, Giancarlo. He did 2 episodes of Heresy or Not like a year ago. He actually painted his up like a fucking F-14 Tomcat from, I think it was VF-114, the Jolly Rogers. Don't quote me on that squadron number. I don't know if it was VF-114 or not, but I know it was the Jolly Rogers. Looked fucking cool as hell. So I was like, I'm going to have to copy that.
Giancarlo needs to get into putting out some more content.
Yeah, Perils of the Wallet has been a little quiet lately. I'm guessing, he's probably like doing real shit, having a life or something.
Yeah, having a life.
It's overrated.
Boring. Nobody likes that shit.
I know. Paint little miniatures and hide in your basement and play with your friends and talk shit on the internet.
Exactly.
And then I've got, like I said, I spent a shit ton of money around and after Christmas. Of course, I got money for Christmas and I got my year-end bonus from work. So I picked up 10 Breachers, a Mark IIB Land Raider, what I'm referring to as Chip the Dorito Dread. So I've always liked the Daredevil. Picked one up. I got the auto cannons, the missile launcher, and the plasma cannon so I can magnetize that motherfucker. And I'm calling him Chip the Dorito Dread because it's humorous.
Seems fitting.
Yeah. So that's a quick wrap up of what I've been doing hobby-wise lately. So, Mr. Sampson, how about yourself? What you been working on?
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. Just my personal stuff. I have been cranking out some Imperial Fist. I've got Imperial Fist that I'm building for Adepticon. I bought a 2,500 point list, and then I got to looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can change it up a little bit. So now I've got to order 2 more Land Raiders. I'm going to buy a Phobos and then the Mark IIB, and then probably change that way. I can run the list 2 different ways. One way will have 6 Land Raiders in it, I believe.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and 2,500 points.
Damn, that's a lot of Land Raiders.
And then
how many?
And then I've been. What's that?
How many Breachers are you shoving inside there?
Actually, in that list, none.
Oh wow,
those things are too fucking expensive. These Breachers are for my Zone Mortalis build.
Awesome.
I'm going all out with this army. I'm right there with you, George. I spent like it's too much fucking money on this army, and I'm terrible. I'm terrible at I'll paint something, play it a couple times, and then sell it.
Yeah.
So I figured if I'm going to have this one ready to go, painted, ready to be sold, I'm going to make it a full kit and caboodle where you can have a ZM list, you can have a Centurion list, you can have a couple 2,500 point lists. So a lot of my hobby has been on this Imperial Fist. And then I also started the militia trend. I'm 160 militia in now.
Holy shit! What models? What models are you using for it?
I'm using the Forge World torsos, the Forge World arms, and then the then the Cadian legs. Some of them I got Cadian legs. Some of them got Victoria miniatures arms and legs. Squad of the Grenadiers. I think that's what they're called. Yeah. They I got really fucking stupid with this unit. I bought Solar Auxilia Las Riflemen.
Yeah. And
I cut their fucking legs off, and I used their legs with the Forge World torsos. So it's like a 20-man unit. It's like almost a $300 unit. It's completely retarded. Completely retarded. I don't ever advise doing that, but it looks really good.
Yeah, I don't know, fuck, man. It's like this fucking ASRAM, the Fister. It's like I don't even know how much time I have into that, and my time is actually worth some money now. So, but
yeah,
fuck yeah, militia train.
Yeah, and I've got it all built. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna finish these fists up, and I'm gonna paint these fucking militia before Adepticon. I'm gonna bring them both and try to get for my gold closer patch. Well, yeah, I don't know about that. Trying to get the fist done.
I know.
Man, anyone that listens to this and who remotely says, man, militia looks cool, that's want to try militia. Just know there's a few things you need to know up front. 1, you're gonna be broke.
Yeah. 2,
you're gonna hate painting rank and file. And 3, your movement phase. Holy fuck, be prepared. Because if anyone is worth their weight, knows you got to have a lot of dudes on the board.
Are you advocating the use of movement trays?
Never.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure.
Just know that you're going to be moving those little bastards all over. It's going to take a long time. I'd rather it take a long time than use a damn movement tray.
If you dare try to use a movement tray, I will hunt you down.
That's right.
Fuck.
I'm not like him De La Rosa boys. I can't get my hands on those damn Gorgons either.
De La Rosas and their goddamn Gorgons.
Like, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, Gorgon. It's Gorgon time. I like how they just randomly will slip those fucking Gorgons in wherever they can. But hey, I ain't mad at them. I'd be doing it too.
Also, if you use clear bases, I'll fucking kill you.
Man, I don't know how I feel about clear basing. I don't think I could do it.
Nah. Yeah, we discussed that the last time.
Just don't think I could do it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, bases, like Derek said in the last episode, they set the narrative. You know, they set the context of your army. I mean, that's why I'm going out and buying a blank base. This fucking piece of resin cost fucking $13.
Mm-hmm.
And then another $10 for these, tiny ass bricks that I'm gonna put all over it and all the other random shit. But it's totally gonna be fucking worth it. I ain't gonna stick this.
Yeah,
base.
That's all the time and efforts you put into it. Totally worth it because the end result, it's just, it's the shit.
I'm also
what this episode's about, apparently, right?
Yeah, because this heresy train ain't got no fucking brakes.
No.
I'm also going to add probably at least, 30, 40 cents worth of lead shot to it just to weight the thing down so the damn ass ramp doesn't fall over.
Yeah.
Thing's so fucking heavy.
Yeah, there's always, you got to be prepared for that chance that a Cheeto finger covered fucking pleb would bump into the table and knock your shit over. So,
yeah. But it's the risk we take for glory.
Yeah.
And just to be fucking fully painted.
Yeah.
All right. So oh wait, there was some news. We're going to do new stuff. So obviously, first and foremost, we got the Bible. It's out on Christmas Day. People have it now. I have mine because I kind of accidentally ordered it along with a few weathering pigments on Christmas morning. I was on my phone and my credit card number saved on the Forge World website. I just wanted to see what tax and shipping was going to be. Next thing I know, thank you for your order. I'm like, okay, sounds good.
No, thank you.
And I haven't actually, I've been too busy just fucking around with other shit or down here painting. I have not actually had a chance to read through the thing yet. I mean, I'm like a couple of pages in. I'm like up to the movement phase, I think. I mean, I haven't gotten
too. I'm guilty of that.
I haven't quite got into the nitty gritty of it yet, but someday I will. I just wanted to have the thing in my hands. I wanted that fresh Forge World book smell in my house.
If anything, I wanted to be like the guy that helps contribute to fucking shutting down Forge World's website to let them know, hey, this can be a thing, you fucks.
Yeah, it's like, give us good shit.
Yes.
I mean, you notice nobody's website went down when 8th Ed got released.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. So yeah, that's a big thing. I really like it. Now, Samson, I know you got yours because I think you got yours on a Friday, and then mine came the following Monday. Because I got really excited when you got yours. It's like, fuck, he's in Tennessee. I'm in Iowa. I'm not that far away. I'm going to get mine soon. Because, of course, when you get regular shipping, you don't ever get a tracking number. So you're just kind of left in the dark as to when the fuck you're actually going to get it.
Yeah. It's like a present, like, surprise. It's here.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I put in an order shortly after Christmas last year. It took like a month to get here. Well, I put in the order on Christmas Day this time, and I had it like two and a half weeks later. It might have only been like 2 weeks. I was actually really surprised and really impressed, which is one thing I also want to mention real quick, going back to the militia army that I started, Anvil Industries. Definitely go check them out because their shit is like seriously decent priced. Like a 5-man squad with a shit ton of accessories that actually cost a little bit extra. And you can customize a bunch of options in these little squads. Shipped to the US was only about $37 because they charge like flat rate shipping. It's none of this 15-18% of your order bullshit.
Yeah, it's anyways.
Yeah, and their models look really good, so definitely go check out Anvil Industries. I think they did a great job with this dress uniform line, so go check them out. Okay, so other new stuff from Forge World, I think just yesterday, there's a number of new Rhino and Land Raider doors, hatches, and front plates, I think, for Raven Guard, Emperor's Children, Turd Bearers, and Imperial Fists. So those are up for pre-order now on the Forge World website. They don't look too bad. But again, I don't play any of those armies and probably never will. But whatever.
George, I got to ask you something.
Yo.
When it comes to those doors, when you look at those doors, do you think to yourself, I got to buy those? Or do you think to yourself, those are cool, but I really like decals?
I really like decals. Honestly.
Me too.
Because, yeah, like I've been using decals for probably close to 10 years now. Just because I did scale modeling, I did aircraft modeling for so long. Yeah. And I'm a member of an IPMS club. So I got like a lot of help learning how to use this stuff. So like Microsol, Microset, and Solvaset, which is like Solvaset's like fucking gold to me.
What is this Solvaset you speak of? All right, that's
the best stuff. Yeah, everyone's always like, "Oh, Microsol, Microset are so good." I'm like, okay, whichever one's in the blue is good, but get yourself some fucking Solvaset. That shit's the best. It's like even better than the stuff. It's so much better than the stuff in the little red bottle. Like high octane.
Who's it made by? Is it still made by the same company?
No, it's actually made by Walthers.
I remember those for my model railroading days.
Yes. Here we go. Yes, the bottle that I have, which is actually from 2009, it still says Walthers. So, see how well my...
Yep, that's what I pulled up on the old phone there.
Solvaset.
Boom.
It's like, let's see, what's the fucking one that I use? Okay, it's like Microsol, but about 10 times more powerful. So
really?
Yeah. Oh man, this is like, because when you're doing aircraft, you've got like panel lines on a wing or a fuselage or rivets or anything. Microsol just wouldn't settle that decal down. You put on Solvaset, it just sucks that thing into a panel line, just lays it down perfectly over rivets, around weird contoured surfaces. It's fucking good shit. And like I said, I bought this bottle in 2009, and I mean, it's starting to get low, but I won't need a new bottle for another year or two at least. Of course, you can get that from any decent hobby shop or train shop. Which, if anybody, yeah, that's where I got mine, because I've got an exceptionally awesome full-service hobby shop in town, which is where I get a lot of, like, because I use so much Vallejo paint, that's where I get it. I get a lot of other modeling supplies there. That's where I got the lights for the ASRAM. And anybody that listens regularly knows I am an absolutely enormous advocate for local model and train shops. I still love game stores, but the best tools, the best supplies and accessories and stuff you're going to get from a train or model airplane shop. Because, and this is something, I'm going to save this next part for later, and we'll Well, we're about to that point anyway because we covered all the new stuff. So,
one question before we transition on.
yes.
So if I bought 2 of these, then I'll be good for a little while, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I put on 2 or 3 coats of this stuff, and like I said, I've been using the same bottle for 9 years.
Checking out right now. I'm gonna make that happen. I want to try it on your recommendation. I'm buying 2 bottles of it.
All right, and it's basically the same process.
Boom.
I mean,
look for a product review.
All right, fuck yeah. I'll do the quick walkthrough on how I do my decals. Okay, so first thing, gloss coat. Roll with it. I airbrush on my gloss coat. For my gloss coat, I use fucking Pledge floor polish. I've had 2 bottles of that since 2009 too. It's Pledge with Future Shine is what it is. And there's also in like European countries, I think it's marketed as Clear, spelled Klear. Okay, so I get my gloss coat on. Then I get my decal ready. I get it cut out, get it soaked. It's moving off the backing paper. Then I'll actually put down a layer. I'll brush on a layer of Micro Set. Okay, so then I'll go grab my tweezers, get my decal, slide my decal on, get it in position using whatever. Sometimes, a lot of times, I use the tip of a scalpel. You can use your paintbrush or whatever. Then I'll actually take the Solvaset, which has a brush inside the bottle, and I will just gently kind of brush that over the entirety of the decal. Occasionally, it might start, as it's drying, it might start to kind of react with your clear coat and form this whitish substance, but that will go away over time. And I'll usually put on 2 or 3 coats of Solvaset. It works fucking wonders for Space Marine shoulder pads, because everyone has such a difficult time. And I'm hoping to actually do a decaling seminar at one of my local game stores here sometime this year. And I might try and get some footage of that, because I know somebody had asked me recently to do a tutorial of that, and I was kind of like, well, there's enough other videos. I mean, I could do it, but there's enough other videos out there to how to do this. You don't need my stupid ass telling you how to do it. Okay, so then once the Solvaset's dry, your decal's on just the way you want it, you give it another clear coat, because
clear coat with
future floor polish again. But you can use any, I should say, gloss coat. Thank you. I put on another gloss coat because first thing it's going to do is going to protect your decal. Second thing, it's going to give you a great surface to start doing your oil washes. If you do that kind of thing, I give pretty much every miniature I do 2 gloss coats, because using this future floor polish, it's an acrylic floor polish. So it cleans up with Windex just fine, but it's meant to polish your floors. It's durable, and it gives a really nice, hard, protective finish to your models, which will help protect your all the work you put into this paint job. So then, of course, you do everything else. And then I put on a matte coat. And I usually just use the generic Vallejo matte varnish, which works just fine for me. So, but you can, if you want a really super high shine finish, you can go ahead and just leave it like that. But
is that what you use, George?
Looks pretty close. Does it say anything about like Pledge with Future Shine?
It says S.E. Johnson Future Acrylic Floor Shine Wax Home Cleaning.
Hang on just a second.
Trying to get an easy way for people to Google this and find and use it. I've heard a lot of people talk about using it.
This is the bottle that I have, which is, like I said, this is an old bottle. So you got Pledge with Future Shine. Just premium floor finish. And I bought this at Walmart, like I said, a long time ago. And I've still got, you can see the level of that. There's still quite a bit left. And this is just phenomenal stuff. Best part is it's self-leveling.
Yeah. So anything basically that says Pledge brand with Future Acrylic Floor Shine or anything like that is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I heard rumors they changed the formula of it some years back, but again, haven't gone through these bottles yet. But okay, so that's how I do my decals. That's why I like Solvaset more than I like Microsol. I don't like the red bottle from Microscale, Micromark, whoever the fuck they are. So there's your quick decaling tutorial. So now for the fun part. Like I said, the big topic of this show is it's all about details. It's all about fucking super detailing the shit out of your models to the point where you question why the fuck you're doing it. I mean, I live for that kind of shit. I love it.
Agreed.
It serves no purpose other than it looks cool, and it kind of gets me a little chubby. So
Makes me a whole lot chubby. Chubby right now.
Again, I'm gonna kind of go back to what I was talking about before with local hobby shops. Again, they're gonna be your best place to get a lot of the stuff you want to do to super detail your models. They're going to have, if you got a decent hobby shop, it's going to have magnets. It's going to have LED lights. It's going to have all kinds of tools. Stock plastic in sheet form, strips, rods, various textures, structural figures. Like you'll get your I-beams, your H-beams, and if that's even a thing, just all kinds of shapes. You can get brass rod, brass tubing, pretty much everything you're going to need you can get from your local model train or model airplane shop. You can get, especially with the model train stuff, you can get colored ballast. So you can glue that to your bases so you don't have to paint your bases. It's great. It's incredible. And it's usually pretty cheap too. You can get like turf from Woodland Scenic. So it's like colored flocking of various grades. So you can make your fucking trees and branches and scrub. No more of that sawdust flock like, goblin green shit like you used to have back in the day from GW.
I remember that.
I do too.
Goblin green with a
way back.
Was that Bad Moon Yellow highlight?
Yeah. Good old Bad Moon Yellow. Goblin green bases.
Terrible. What the hell were we thinking?
That was the thing at the time, and then Heresy came along and everyone lost their shit and decided that we're gonna up this game. So yeah, local hobby shops, they're seriously the best. I fucking love mine because it's a full service hobby shop. They've got virtually everything that I need. If they don't have it, they can order it in. They'll give me a decent price on it. And like I said, my model club meets there twice a month. We get to a group of grown-ass adult men get to be in the hobby shop virtually unsupervised. There's only ever one hobby shop employee there after hours to babysit us. And we get free range of the store to go do whatever we want. I mean, we hold a meeting, but we get to look at whatever the fuck we want without people bothering us. And then they give us a 20% discount on the night of the meetings. So that's one of the reasons why I like Vallejo paint so much. One, it comes in a bigger bottle. It's 17 mil instead of 12 mil. It's a hell of a lot easier with the dropper bottle style. And I get it cheaper. Even on its own, it's cheaper than Citadel paints. I mean, their color range is, for just like Vallejo game color, is virtually identical to Games Workshop with a few exceptions. But then, of course, there's the Model Air line, which is great. I mean, the main color for my Ultramarines is a Model Air color. And then, of course, there's the model color line, and they've got pigments and colored primers and just all kinds of great shit. I love Vallejo. I've got a lot of P3, I've got a lot of Citadel, and I've got a lot of Forge World paints and whatnot, but love my Vallejo.
Whenever I'm not using MIG paints, my go-to is Vallejo. It's MIG, Vallejo, and Scale 75 are all pretty much what is on my desk right now, within inches of me right now, that I use a lot. Good stuff. Love Vallejo.
I've never actually used the MIG paints.
What's that now?
I've never used the MIG paints before.
Really? They're really good. I mean, if you wanted to try some, just pick up a couple and give them a try and see what you think. I think they're very, very comparable to Game Air.
Yeah.
And Model Air. Just any of Vallejo's airline, they're very compatible.
Awesome.
Very good. Their metallics. The metallics are really good. But I've been here lately. I've been finding myself doing just nothing but Vallejo metal color when it comes to my metallics.
I haven't see. I actually really like the Model Air metallics, but I haven't tried the new metal color yet.
Yeah, the metal stuff. The stuff I'm picking up here. It's just acrylic metal color, airbrush colors. I use a lot of gunmetal gray as like my base for my metallic.
Yep.
And then I'll come in and highlight it with a dark aluminum,
Mhm.
and then final highlight will be this chrome.
Nice.
All my metal work with.
I've got a lot of all clad lacquers, which are the best metallic paints I've ever worked with, bar none. But they're also a lacquer, so there's just a few stipulations that come with using lacquers that if you've never done it before,
like getting high as fuck.
Yeah, you really you have to have a spray booth. You can't, and the other thing about these is you can't brush paint them. They have to be airbrushed. And I know airbrushing is becoming a much bigger thing in the tabletop gaming universe, but you can't brush paint this shit. You have to use an airbrush. So you got to have a spray booth, which you can see right behind me.
Yeah, I see the lid.
Yep. And then, of course, my red-handled airbrush is the only one that's worth it. The other one's just a Chinese piece of shit. But, yeah, all-clad lacquers are great. So there's a couple of things that if you're going to start super detailing your models, I feel like I shouldn't have to address these. And this is me being, I'll admit this. This is me being a fucking hobby snob.
Do it.
Because
just do it. Lay it out there.
Again, the whole model airplane thing, you find out gaps are not acceptable. Shit not lining up is not acceptable. The epitome of realism and perfect real world accuracy, anything less is not acceptable. So there's a couple of things I don't want to have to say these, but I have to say them. First things first. If you really want to start super detailing your models, fucking scrape your mold lines. Okay, I said that. Yeah. You know, it's easy. Just use your hobby knife. That's all I use. You don't have to break out the files. Don't have to break out the sandpaper, sanding sticks, which are some other things that you should have, honestly, sanding sticks and files. So scrape your mold lines. Next thing. Shit. Drill out the barrels of your bolters. I know it's kind of scary, but it's really not that bad. You take the tip of your hobby knife, you get it centered in the end of that bolter barrel, and you just kind of get a little twist, get a pilot started. Then you just drill it out. You don't have to drill it very deep. And then you go in from the side and you drill out that side hole, that muzzle brake. It's pretty easy.
A couple millimeters is all you need.
What's that?
I said just a minute couple millimeters is all you really need.
Yeah, you really don't need anything at all. And it just adds that much more to the look of the model and the realism and the downright awesomeness. So that's definitely something to consider. And it's so easy. The next thing is something I've encountered recently personally myself and had to deal with. Now, even with the plastic Rhino kit, not to mention if you're putting together like a Demos pattern Rhino or a Predator or something else that's got add-on parts to the Rhino chassis, GW claims to be a model company manufacturer before a gaming company. Well, if they are truly a model manufacturing company, they really need to redesign some of this shit because the gaps on these completed models are insane. I mean, you could fucking drive a Mack truck through some of the holes in the front of a Rhino. I'm not even exaggerating either. That's the fucked up part. So, I mean, when you put that top plate onto the sides, you just get these huge gaps. And, you know, I don't know if it's like people just don't want to deal with it or they don't know how. They just don't address it. Then they paint the thing up and there's still these giant gaps. I mean, I'll admit, my Vindicator laser destroyer, the McCrag penetration station, I did the best I could, but my green stuffing skills weren't the best at the time. But when I've got this Damocles here, and you know, I'm making up for it because I mean this thing is like gapless. I mean there's no penetrating going on in between the holes of this sumbitch. And I mean sometimes you get gaps that are just like too damn big for green stuff. So what you got to do, you got to go to your hobby shop and get yourself some plastic stock. Like you can get it in sheets or get some strips. I use a lot of that, and you just shove that in there, glue it in. You know, once the glue's dry, you kind of trim it to shape. And you can sand it a little bit, you know, and it'll be good to go. No one will know there was a gap there. It's awesome. You know, and it's just going to add that much more to the realism. I mean, these aren't even like super detailing things yet. It's just kind of like, here's how to make a better model.
Yeah, the slight details that really take it a little bit further and complement the other insane details that you do, which you're going to get into.
Hell yeah. And it's just like simple things. It's like, if you do all this effort to super detail it, but you still got these gaps, or you have bolters that aren't drilled, it's gonna kind of take away from it. So just address some of those smaller things first. Then you can start doing stuff, especially if you're building rhinos or any other sort of vehicle. So if you got your Vindicator, your Predator, or your Sicaran, which is actually the first one I did, you can do stuff like hinge the hatch. So the hatch that sits on top, I should say the cupola. You can also do that hatch on the back of a rhino, but that cupola that sits on top of like the turret, or it sits at the front of the rhino, you know, they give you that cupola ring, and then they give you the top of it separately, you know, and it's got the two arms that kind of fit around that stud. Well, it's really easy to just take your pin vise, because you have a pin vise, because that's one of the things you need to just drill. Yes, you need to go out and buy one right now
from your local hobby shop.
Exactly. Or Amazon, you know, if you don't have a decent hobby shop nearby. But you can just, you know, drill straight through one side, out the other, stick a piece of brass, like really, really thin brass rod in there, and then just kind of glue it. And you might have to do a little bit of green stuffing, you know, where the holes, to cover the outside holes from your pin vise. But then you can open and close that hatch at will. So if you've got like the vehicle crew member set, you can pop a guy in there, take him out when you don't want him out. And it's just like, again, you question, why the fuck am I doing this? Because it serves no purpose, but it looks fucking awesome. Exactly. Because you can. This is our game. This is our heresy. We can do whatever the fuck we want. So
pretty much
go fucking crazy. And I mean, it's like, I did that with my Sicaran, which I built a little over a year ago. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. Then I did it with my Vindicator. I'm like, all right, yeah, this is cool. And I was looking at my Damocles a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just like, do this again. God damn it, I have to.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, well, for a lot of those super detailing things that you want to do to your kits, it actually sells a lot of detailed pieces. You just got to search for them. They're there. Like, you know, the packs for the damn bolt pistols, you know, just the little ammo packs or the grenades. All that, if you just put all that on the model, it's totally worth the effort. It's not much effort, but it really looks good. And you can have it's nothing like being able to place your army out and it being fucking WYSIWYG. Because you hardly ever see a WYSIWYG army.
Yeah.
Who actually went through and spent the time and put packs and grenades on every fucking model that's supposed to have them. I mean, I've got some Mark III that I'm working on, but I've even took the plastic chain swords off of the plastic Mark III, and I put them on my Forge World resin ones because it just adds more realism, adds more detail. Everything's there.
That's especially something like that where magnetizing comes, which, you know, it's, again, check your local shop. They probably have magnets. And it's really easy because basically all you do is drill a hole, super glue it in. But the thing you got to watch out for is the polarity of the magnets. You really got to keep an eye on that, because you don't want to do all this work and then find out you put the magnets in fucking backwards.
Yeah, but that shit sucks.
Yeah, may or may not have done that a few times myself, but
a few hundred times myself.
Shit happens. And here's another trick. Like if you're building a tank or something, say you're doing a rhino and you want to magnetize your back hatch, but there's not, so it's pretty easy to put magnets inside that back door. You just put them up towards the top. It's a little bit tougher to find a good spot to put a magnet on the actual hull of the rhino. Well, here's a little trick. Just find like a really, really thin sheet of just like, you can get like steel or basically any really thin ferric metal. I mean, you could get, you know, just all kinds of stuff. Obviously, you can't use aluminum because aluminum isn't magnetic, but you basically just cut out tiny strips. You put them on the sides, you know, where it actually stops the door from going in any further. And if I hadn't actually gotten my fucking Rhino knocked off my workbench earlier today, it would be better.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't keep a kinetic reloading hammer for pulling bullets above your workbench.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a fun lesson. But I had a spare Rhino kit, so I'm fixing it. Anyway, so you don't always have to use 2 magnets. You can sometimes use really thin metal. And again, you can get stuff like that at your hobby shop. You can just cut that with a decent pair of scissors. You just kind of make sure it's going to curl when you try to cut it. So just sort of flatten it out. And then you can glue it in place and it'll attract that magnet. So you don't have to put in a second magnet, it doesn't work as well for infantry, but it still works. Works typically a little bit better for vehicles, but it's definitely something to check out if you want to start magnetizing stuff. Which it's fun. It's just after a while. But again, we're talking about detailing to the point of stupidity. Probably not too worried about that at this point. Now, another thing that I like to do, again, it's mostly a vehicle thing. And again, it's a scale modeler's trick that I picked up from some old geezers. When it comes to painting like lenses on your vehicles, like targeting lenses or other random shit, you can go out and you can buy a product that is called MV Lenses. Now, it's actually a brand name, but I don't know of anybody else that actually makes them. It's MV Products, realistic light lenses for models. Now, these are like a model train product. So let's see, that light I've got up here kind of washes shit out. But let's
yeah, kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh, no sound. No sound. You killed your sound somehow. Turn that back on, whatever you turned off. Technical difficulties. Let me pull up. Speak. Anything, George, on your end? No, it's not going out. It's not going out on YouTube's either. So you've lost your sound from your end. So your mic or something's not. Still nothing. We're gonna start over if you guys are watching this. We'll just keep an eye out for the other one to pop up. George will post it.